You guys all know the controversy around this film. Rachel Zegler's casting and her controversial comments about the original film.
She's not gonna be safe for the prince, and she's not gonna be dreaming about true love.
Gal Gadot's acting abilities.
Pies are luxuries. They don't need luxuries.
Everyone on the internet was ready to take a huge dump on this film. But is it as bad as everyone says it is? I really don't know why I made myself go to the cinemas and watch and review this, because I got exactly what we were all expecting. Look, really, the only good part of this movie for me was the rendition scene of the Dwarves' classic song, Hi Ho. But for most people, they're gonna hate it because you can see it coming from the trailers. The Dwarves look so freaking weird here, like genuinely unnerving weird. For me, I kind of like it because with my sort of strange sense of humor, I kind of look on it and go, this is just hilarious how strange they look. But for most people, it's not going to be a good thing about this movie. It's more going to be a good thing the same way you look at the Cats movie and go, how weird and creepy did all the characters in that look? And that's not the only thing. This movie will genuinely scare your kids. If the dwarf CGI doesn't scare them, they are going to be terrified where, spoiler warning here guys, Gal Gadot's evil queen slowly starts to morph into shards of glass and shatters into a million pieces as she screams in pain. That is going to give your kids nightmares. So yeah, not really sure what Disney was going for here. They're clearly trying to adapt it for a modern audience, but I went back and watched the original film on the same day as I watched this new one, and the original just is so much better in every single way. This new version of Snow White seems like it's trying to avoid being a love story for some reason, which is just really dumb because the story of Snow White is a love story. It's about a princess meeting a handsome prince and they live happily ever after. If you want to make a movie about a Disney princess that doesn't need no man, that is fine, but how about you come up with something new instead of taking an old IP and trying to twist it to fit that? Why don't you come up with something new? Like, I'm seriously fine with it. If you want to come up with a new character, a female character that has a bit more agency, that's being more of an action hero in the film, rather than just being whooshed off her feet by a prince, that is genuinely fine with me, but do it with something new. And, alright, if you are gonna take the Snow White story and change it a lot, look, fair enough, that could be okay if you actually stuck to some bold ideas, because here, it is just stuck in this awkward middle ground. It's a little bit different. No, if you want to do something new and creative, just stick to some bold ideas, and then I would respect the film a whole lot more. And back on the love story as well, the prince has to be wearing one of the worst costumes that I've ever seen in a medieval film with this big budget, or any budget for that matter. He looks like some bloke from 2014 you just see walking down the street wearing a hoodie, maybe some guy getting a coffee down in Mornington. Not a medieval prince. Oh, wait a second. He's not even a prince in this story. He's a bandit. I mean, come on. Why change something that people actually come to the Snow White story for? And also, the Snow White costume too, it just looked really cheap, like a $2 store costume. There's also a bunch of Letterboxd reviews calling this movie anti-fascist. Now, don't get me wrong, I am very, very anti-fascist myself, as I'm sure you are watching this video. But calling this movie that is a bit of a stretch. And I'm sorry, but that kind of message is pretty ironic coming from a huge capitalist, rich company like Disney telling me in this movie how all the rich, evil people are taking away the resources from the poor people. Brother, I'm paying like $16.99 a month for Disney Plus. That price is going up like every 6 months, man. That kind of message, it is just so on the nose. And I really don't think you can praise this movie for making any kind of bold political statement. Ah, yes, and Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot's acting, I hear you ask about. Well, It was not great. Look, Rachel Zegler, I think she's a good singer, and when she's acting all happy in this, you know, she does a pretty good job. But when she's acting scared or worried, man, her performance just completely falls apart. I didn't buy it at all. There were so many moments where I was sitting there going, what the frick is this acting? What am I looking at right now? She keeps doing these faces like, it just completely broke my immersion. And Gal Gadot, look, I don't even need to speak about it because the internet is going to tell you and it is going to show you how bad her performance was here. Now, I know that's a bit harsh, but it just genuinely is not good. And how on earth is she getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Like, what is the criteria for those things? Look, overall, regardless, the main conversation that this film brings up once again is what is the point of live action remakes? They're so clearly just a cash grab, just an attempt by these big rich companies like Disney to go and try and cash in again on some old beloved IP. They are soulless. They are terrible. This movie did nothing that the original didn't do 10 times better. The original movie, it just looks so beautiful. There's so many shots in there that I genuinely want to jump into the screen and go and live in. But here in 2025 Snow White, they're just reduced to your generic, sort of bland looking CGI with heaps of really ugly, shallow depth of field shots. It's all garbage, it's all slop, as my good friend Django Disc would describe it. And take the animal characters, for example. In the original movie, they've got so much personality. I was watching that as a fully grown adult, genuinely having some chuckles along the way. But then here, they're just there for a little bit of cuteness factor. All the personality is taken out with the realistic looking CGI. They play way less of a role in the actual story, like Snow White in the original sort of communicates with them, but here they're sort of just there. And do not get me started on how ugly the ending of this film looked. So basically, they're all really happy. They're having a big celebration. They all dress up. Everyone in the village, Snow White, the main characters, they all dress up in pure white. It seems like it's trying to imply that it might be a wedding, but this film is so scared of actually being a love story, it only sort of half commits to it, that no, we couldn't possibly show a wedding scene. So instead, they're all just dancing around wearing white. And the production design is all faded and white as well. The color grade is faded. It just looks so soulless and ugly. All the color that was there at the start of the movie, and some of it, yes, it looked okay, is just completely washed out and gone. And somehow I'm meant to look at this ending and go that this is a happily ever after. It looks terrible. What a bad world to live in. But yeah, hopefully from what you've seen here, guys, you can tell I'm not someone who's a Disney princess hater, right? Look, my demographic, you might think it's not something that would really be that interesting to me, but I got genuinely a lot of enjoyment from that original film. I really liked it. It's almost a 4-star movie for me. If I didn't know about the controversy from this film already, I should have known walking into the cinemas and seeing the big Mufasa poster still up on the outside that I was going to be in trouble. And as the credits rolled, I couldn't help just feeling really disappointed and a bit more kind of depressed about the current state of Hollywood blockbuster filmmaking. It's really not looking good, guys, and my sister, as you can see, she felt the exact same way. So overall, I'm going to give the 2025 Snow White 1.5 out of 5. And genuinely, all of that star rating pretty much just goes to that one rendition of the Dwarf song and the fact that they made the crazy choice to actually go with that really weird looking CGI. But even with all that in mind, their personalities in the original film are just so much funnier. Now, is that an apple over there? Is it? It was. And look, I'm a little bit hungry after recording this video, so I'll take a bite. It couldn't hurt.